This evening. Coming up later tonight on the Scooter McGee Show. Right now, we are going to continue our carryover conversation regarding the National Defense Authorization Act with Jeffrey Hare. He is running for House District 48 here in Colorado. You can learn more about him at hareforhouse.com. That's HAREFORHOUSE.com. And coming up after the break, we are going to begin a conversation with Cindy Anderson, who is running for the Colorado State Senate in District 14, also regarding the National Defense Authorization Act. But let's get back to our conversation tonight with Jeffrey Hare. Welcome back, Jeff.
Thanks, Scooter. That's good news on the snow, because that means everybody tomorrow can go to hareforhouse.com, click on our facebook.com link, and they can do some research on NDAA topic. We posted some articles today on this topic. There's some good articles out there written by people like ACLU on the left and Forbes on the right, and I think it's time for people to become educated on this issue.
New York Times, and it's Chris Hedges.
Yep, excellent article.
Yeah, unbelievable. Again, because members of the broadcast media, the shame stream repeaters, who don't think this affects them, they cover a story about Al-Qaeda. They cover a story about the Taliban. They cover a story about the war on terror. They could be also bundled into this category, as well as all of the members of the House of Representatives who voted yes for this, as well as all the senators who voted for this, may have in fact signed their own arrest warrant.
I won't touch that one, Scooter. I will say, though...
No, I don't mean like that by us. I mean by the definition of the National Defense Authorization Act.
You're absolutely right.
That's how they sign their own warrant.
Absolutely. Yep, it's hard to know, because what does substantially supported and associated forces mean? I think that's the big question right now.
What does it mean to you? When you read it, what did you think?
I think that Congress needs to get back in session and do something to clarify the language, take this language out, and make it very clear to the U.S. people that they are not targeting U.S. Citizens on U.S. soil. I think it's wrong. This is a violation of a lot of rights within the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and we gotta stand up and organize and say this is wrong. So I think starting tomorrow, I think folks need to do some research on this issue, participate at a local level, come to the BOCC hearing on Monday. If you don't live in Weld County, go to your county commissioners, do the same thing. We will have some sample resolutions posted on our website by Monday.
Very good.
Unfortunately, my webmaster's out for the weekend, so I can't put them up over the weekend, but I can post some things on our Facebook page, absolutely. So what I'm calling for right now, I think what we needed to do as citizens is stand up not only within our counties, ask for similar resolutions to be adopted, but force the issue at the state level as well. We can, as Colorado, we are known as rebels. We are rebels in this state. We need to stand up for our rights, stand up for our constitutional rights. I think we need to be the first state in the union to come out with a resolution condemning this and calling for Congress to be able to revise this language.
Jeffrey, add to your list when you talk to your webmaster, make sure you include a link to your Facebook page on your website.
Bottom right corner of the homepage is it should show that.
Now it just reloaded. Now I see it. The first time it didn't come up. Okay, very good.
And there's a lot of people that are hitting our site and becoming followers of our campaign, because I think I don't think I know we're going to be the leaders on this. We're going to work with you and whoever else is interested in fighting for liberty and fighting for freedom, taking back our Constitution.
What would you say again? And I was stunned. Party officials here in northern Colorado are upset that I brought this issue to the county commissioners. I just found that stunning. They're not upset at Cory Gardner. They're not upset at the United States Senate. They're not upset at Barack Obama. They're upset at me for, quote unquote, wasting the time of the Weld County commissioners. What would you say to that?
I think people are just discouraged by the political process. They don't feel like average people in Congress represent their views. They don't feel like they hear their views. And I'm not pointing at anyone in particular. I'm just saying the political process is broke on both sides of the aisle. Obviously, this was bipartisan supported. You have media on both sides of the campaign. So what I intend to do is be the different type of politician. I want people ultimately to call me, elected or not, I want people to call me a statesman. I will intend to do what's best for the citizens of Weld County, for District 48. I intend to maintain a high moral character. I want to be able to put my head on the bed at night. I have to. That's who I am. I'm a conservative Christian by nature. I'm a God-fearing man, and ultimately I'm accountable to Him. And I will be that guy in northern Colorado in District 48.
What do you say to legislators who continue to try and pass legislation that excludes members of Congress?
Good question. I guess Congress shouldn't be exempt from anything. If they're going to pass rules for the rest of us, whether that's national health care or whatever, that has to be, fair for everybody. So they don't get a pass. They shouldn't be exempt from the same regulations and rules and, Obamacare is the rest of us.
New Jersey legislators recently now wanting to impose a ban on the sale of all ammunition, which is a rather sensible topic to talk about here in northern Colorado and in Colorado. Where do you stand on the Second Amendment?
Well, I think our Second Amendment rights have been eroded way beyond what the Founding Fathers envisioned, and that's a perfect example of an insane piece of legislation in New Jersey that needs to be fought down. It needs to be just fought and not adopted. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
How about the third rail of politics and what many are calling the death rail? I don't like the term immigration reform. It's illegal immigration. Where do you stand on immigration reform as being phrased by the media?
Well, that's a good question. It's a difficult topic. I know there's been a lot of debate at the national level. Obviously we got to secure the borders. That's an important topic to do. To be honest, it's a topic that I think that needs more discussion. Personally, I think that we need to enforce the laws. We need to do what we need to do to make sure that.
So you're for enforcing the laws we have on the books, not creating more laws.
Well, that's the problem with Congress in general. State legislatures, they keep adding on more laws, and they don't enforce the ones that are already on the books. So it's unfortunate that's the case, but that's the reality of the situation we're living in. They're just. More regulation, more laws. I think I would like to see much less legislation happen all throughout the process, whether it's a state level, because, frankly, most of the legislation that's happening is because of special interests and because of lobbyists. We need to get them out of the political process.
In your campaign, will you take money from special interest groups or lobby groups?
I've already done the limited pledge campaign, which means I can only accept money from individuals, no more than $200 per citizen. I think every person that has integrity in the race should be taking that limited campaign pledge. So I've signed that. I don't know where my opponent is on that issue or anybody else, but I think if you're a person of integrity and you believe that lobbyist money has no position in this race, I think that's it's a no-brainer to me. For your listener or for our listeners who don't know who your opponent is, who's your opponent? A gentleman named Steve Humphrey out of Severance. I've talked to him several times. He seems like a man of integrity, a good guy, and I think then why not let him keep doing his job? Well, he's not in right now. He's a new guy running for the job. We're both running for Glenn Vodd's seat, and Glenn's running for state senate. Gotcha. Okay. Yes. So Steve and I had some long conversations. I think if I wasn't running it, he's probably the type of guy I could support. But frankly, I think I have a lot more to offer District 48. I've got some experience. I've got good relationships with the commissioners. Matter of fact, there's a bill that I co-authored that's being introduced. I think it was being read into the Assembly yesterday. So I've already been active in working on issues in our community. This is another issue, this NDAA, this Section 1021 that I want to champion, and I would, welcome as much help as we can at a state level across the state to be able to encourage, representatives and senators in the Colorado Assembly to take up this initiative. So this is number two. I'm not going to wait till I get into office till I become elected to be able to start making a difference. I'm starting now. His name is Jeffrey Hare, and of course he's running for House District 48. You can learn more about him at hareforhouse.com. That's HAREFORHOUSE. Jeffrey, I really appreciate you getting behind this resolution that we have now had drafted by the Weld County Commissioners and their attorney, Bruce Barker, and look forward to hopefully having really good news and a lot more press, obviously, on this later Monday morning after hopefully the Weld County Commissioners do the right thing. As they voted unanimously to put this on the agenda, I'm certainly hoping that same vote resonates when it comes time in public session to make a statement. Absolutely. And I thank you for the leadership on this, Scooter. You've been out there in front of everybody. And I also want to make sure that people know Tuesday night, Republican Caucus. Yes. You can contact me, Jeff at hareforhouse.com, or you can ping me on the Facebook page or whatever. I'd be happy to help you figure out where you should be voting. This is the time as citizens we need to make our voice heard, and this is not the time to be sitting on the sidelines and waiting for somebody else to help make those decisions. People need to vote. Are you a Twitterer? I am a Twitter. I have not got my Twitter account set up, but
get the account set up and then set it up so that every time you tweet. Sorry. Every time he liked that one. Every time you tweet, it will propagate immediately over onto your Facebook page.
Yeah.
So you can just text message from your smartphone. Here's what's going on, blah, 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 and boom. And that's we use that extensively on Tuesday down at CSU in Fort Collins, and it works. It worked flawlessly. So
yeah, excellent.
Okay, so Northern Colorado, of course, we've had a conversation this evening with Jeffrey Hare. He again is running for House District 48. Please go find him on the World Wide Web over at hareforhouse.com, and on the bottom front page, there it is. Find him on Facebook, Jeffrey Hare for House District 48. Already 137 people like Jeffrey Hare for House District 48. Hopefully you'll be one of the next ones to jump up on that page. Jeff, hail the Republic.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your time tonight, Scooter.
You bet. Have a good night. Northern Colorado, a very quick commercial break. Ames closes tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Briggsdale closed tomorrow. District 6 closed tomorrow. Eaton closed tomorrow.